Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This video is a continuation from last week, which is finger pulls. We're going to be carrying on the subject of finger pull handles. Finger pull handles are a lovely way of having a nice flush handle. You don't need to screw any handles on, you're just routering into that surface to create a little pulling area to be able to get your fingers in, pull the drawer open. And it's a nice stylish way of adding a little bit of design into your wardrobe, your drawers, anything that you like. You can have a finger pull handle that runs the entire length of a door or a drawer facial. You can make them small. You can have them offset of each other, anything you like. They're really, really nice, cool handles to have. If you watched last week's video, you would have seen the handles that I was trying to achieve on my ultimate workbench. As you can see, they are now on. The workbench is near enough complete. I will give you a quick spin around to show you the finger pulls on the fascias. Okay, like I promised, I am walking around just showing you what these finger pulls look like on the ultimate workbench, because I have basically finished this completely. Okay, I'm so chuffed with the way it's turned up. It's got a few bits and pieces dotted around where Sean's been painting. We've just got a couple of boards up against the workbench to stop paint splashing up whilst he primes. Yeah, it's looking super fantastic. We finished everything and there will be videos to come. Let me give you a little tempter into one or two. Okay, and here we got the planer thicknesser. In here we have got the compressor with storage, and then this is one of my favorites because this was an unusable space. This is a tiny little section for cutters, mainly Trends. 90% of these are Trend, all the top ones are Trends, and I love this little cupboard. It just makes use of that tiny little space. So yeah, lots more. Let's move around. The cyclone system is in there, a table saw and a drawer. Again, having a look at the handles because they are completely finished. Hoover in there, and we've got two large drawers, and we've got 8 drawers over here. I want to show you this one because this is one of my favorites as well, because I 3D printed a whole load of these little boxes to store exactly what I want, where I want. There we go. Perfect. So this is what the handles look like. Finished all of these off, and I'm going to be using these 3 cutters today on the CRT table. So what I'm going to do today is I am comparing 3 cutters, all from Trend. As you can see, I am showing all of Trend's stuff off here today because I believe they are a fantastic company to buy from. They are probably the best for cutters out there. I believe they have about 1,500 cutters to choose from. And if you are looking for router cutters, just don't bother going anywhere else. They are fantastic. And I've been using them since I've been woodworking. We are going to be using these 3 finger pulls. Okay, so the last video was this tiny little 1/4 inch cutter, and this little cutter is the C305. Okay, then we're going to be moving up to the next size up, this one. Okay, the mid size, and this is a 1/2 inch, so this is for a 1/2 inch router. This is the C281. Okay, then we are going for the chunky monkey. All right, next we are going for the C282, 1/2 inch again. I am going to be using the CR2 Mark III router table. It's perfect if you want to take it on site, perfect for any job, anywhere. Okay, it's portable, it's versatile, it just does everything that it says on the tin. At the moment, we have got the T14 Trend router in there. Okay, and what we're going to do today is compare all 3 to give you a insight into what these sizes look like. Okay, so you're probably going, I don't know what I need. You've never seen a cutter like this. Do I go small, medium, large? I'm going to be running that handle all the way through the sample for you. So without going on too much, I'm going to grab some samples, going to set up the first cutter in there and get the job started. I've got my 3 samples. Hopefully they are big enough. They're only about 80mm wide, but I'm going to be running that profile all the way through the top of each of those. This is what they all look like. Now is to set up each one and run them through for you. Let's start with the small. The small one, I have got a reducer. It's a collet that goes inside the head of the bolt at the top, and it just reduces the size of the router shank. So that's going to be swapped over for this one over there because we've got a 1/2 inch in there. Okay, so my storage ran out as I was doing the first pass. As you can see here, I've given you 2 demos on 2 different heights. And then I went to do it again, and then I had another problem. So I'm going to just quickly show you again on another piece of scrap, just to show you me routering the actual handle. So I'm all set up and ready to go on this one. So this one's a little bit chunkier, and I'm thinking that these bigger cutters may be better for thicker material, say 25mm thick. I'm going to give it a go on the 18 to see if it both works. If not, I may change to the 25mm, okay? Let's see how it works on the 18mm thickness because they're quite chunky. Also, I'm doing them in 2 passes because I think it's too much to take off. I'm going to run it at smaller depth and then push the fence back. So as you can see, they're near enough in line. Well, there's a little bit of difference. So if we want that to be further down at the front, then I will push that fence down. So I'm going to do half of that for you to show you that, okay? I'm going to push this fence forward a bit, 6mm or so, lock it back up. Okay, that's another one done. Let's flip it over, go to the bigger cutter and see what that looks like and see if it's even possible in the 18mm, okay? But that is the first run, okay? I'm going to try and make it a little bit deeper, okay? And see how that comes out. Okay, so experiment done. Let's go ahead and show you the results of all 3 cutters. So far, the way I'm thinking is, I'm thinking that the small one does exactly what you need it to do. Unless you want to go a little bit deeper, but I can't really see much of a difference. Okay, so maybe shapes. Okay, so let's show you the samples, and I think this is the best way to show them, okay? So on this side here, we've got the small, okay, small 1/4 inch. In the middle, we've got the large 1/2 inch. And on the left here, we've got the large. You can see the shape difference of that one. It's more splayed on the edge, whereas this one is more of a round. Again, this one is a bit of both. All worked. As you can see here, the remaining of the drawer fascia, which would be the back, we've got more of it. And here is less and less. So we've got sharper fronts. If I wanted a less sharp front here, then I would need to wind that cutter down, but then it would give us a smaller bit at the back. So we really want to go bigger material. Realistically, if we want to use any of those larger 1/2 inch cutters, I believe, I'm thinking that the 1/2 inch is for maybe 25mm, 22mm, and the 1/4 inch one that I had, the smaller version, is for 18mm. Okay, so this one is the C305, and it's coming out really, really nice. I'm quite chuffed with the C305. You can see the way I changed the fence depth to give me more, and if you want to do a deeper cut, then that's what you should do. Do it in 2 passes. This is 1 pass, and then we got the 2 passes. Okay, so the medium, the C281, 2 passes again. This is what it looks like on the second pass. And this is what it looks like on the first pass. It's a beefy cutter. Yeah, it's probably a little bit overkill. And again, we've got the sharp edges on the front, just because the the material's not thick enough, but yeah. And then let's go for the large. You can just see again, sharp at the front, which we really want that to be round if we could, but again, we wouldn't have a lot of meat left over on the back. And we did one pass. As you can see, we didn't take much meat out on that. It's near enough the same. So that is the cutter there, and it didn't even take any off the front. Whereas when I moved the fence back, it did. Small, medium, large. My conclusion is I don't think you really need to go for anything other than the small unless you are wanting something a bit more substantial and you're routing into a bigger drawer front. Also, you may be routing into something a lot more dense, so you may need a bigger cutter, half-inch cutter rather than a quarter-inch. Overall, they all worked on 18mm, but I believe the smaller cutter is the one I will use from now on. Probably no use for the bigger ones until I use thicker fascias, but then again, why do I need to use thicker fascias? And I don't tend to use hardwoods or anything like that. It's mainly sheet materials. So I think my conclusion is I'm going to stick to the C305, which is the smaller cutter. Yeah, happy days, really happy with that little one. It's done a great little job. You wouldn't imagine that would do something like that, would you? You know, I'm really chuffed. So I'm going to continue to use this because overall I'm happy with the Ultimate Workbench and what it's done for my workbench and my drawers and drawer fascias. I hope you have liked. Remember, these are all fantastic. Head over to the Trend website and have a look at the selection of router cutters and the router table. Other than that, guys, have a great Friday. I'll see you next Friday. Take it easy. Ciao for now.